Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, check. Now, because I got to go. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Union High School's gymnasium on the campus of Union High School for tonight's matchup between the Bartlesville Bruins and your Union varsity volleyball squad. First, let's meet the ladies from Bartlesville. Number 2, Lexi Jones. Number 3, Katie Loretzen. Number 10, Cambria Brewster. Number 10, Reed Faust. Number 15, Sage Ellison. Number 27, Bethany Johnson. And now the starting lineups for the Bruins. Number 7, Hannah Lindsley. Number 8, Sydney Collins. Number 12, Tatiana Flores. Number 13, Maya Otten. Number 18, Claire Walker. Number 23, Allie Wood. And number 33, Kelsey Ward. Your assistant coaches are Andrew Blaine and David Perez, and your head coach of Bartlesville Bruins is Jennifer Ward. And now, let's meet your Union varsity volleyball squad. Number 7, senior Kaylin Stolkup. Number 14, Shahada Robledo. Number 15, a junior, Aubrey Stanley. Number 16, Gracie Howard. Number 17, senior Kaylee Mitch. Number 22, Mackenzie Thiessen. And number 26, junior Maddie Lapointe. And now your starting lineups for Union's varsity volleyball squad. Number 1, junior Tyranny Jackson. Number 5, senior Emily Ludwig. Number 9, junior Amaya Norwood. Number 11, a sophomore, Sydney Smith. Number 20, junior Raquel Fanelli. Number 23, senior Kaylee Willis. And number 24, senior Allie Blackwell. Your athletic trainer is Dan Newman. Your assistant coach is James Thomas. And your head coach is Chad McKee. Ladies and gentlemen, your Union varsity volleyball squad. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would ask that you rise or remain standing for tonight's performance of the national anthem by number 9, Union's own Amaya Norwood.
Bright stripes and
and Norwood, everybody. Woo! Dang. We don't need it fixed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to Union's UView channel for this matchup between the Bartlesville Bruins and your Union volleyball squad. Tonight's officials are Jill Cooper and Megan Brands. And I may ask a few of you to come down and sing because we don't have any music. So it's karaoke night, $5. Come down, sing whatever you want. See what we can come up with. Megan Brands, you're up first. I guess not. Having a little fun here in the gymnasium as we welcome you back in here to the Bruins taking on Union's volleyball squad. And for tonight, the last broadcast that we had was August 20th. And that's the last time Union has played at home. Since then, they played in one tournament where they fared pretty well, according to Coach McKee. They had 2 away games, a win against Bixby and a loss against Broken Arrow. But that's it. And since that time, COVID has kind of reared its ugly head, if you will, on this team as the game against Sapulpa was canceled. And Coach Chad McKee has been able to only have 2 practices in about 2 weeks. So we'll see if the rust takes a factor early on. But I can tell you, these kids are fired up and ready to play as they're excited to get back to playing a little volleyball. On the court are Jackson, Ludwig, Norwood, Smith, Finelli, Willis, and Blackwell. And we're underway. Big dig day by Bartlesville, but a quick lead. And Union goes up 1-0. Norwood to serve. Amaya Norwood to serve. And if we were fortunate enough to get her singing the national anthem earlier as the broadcast kicked off, that's because we were having technical difficulties with the music here in the gymnasium. And although our techs are working feverishly to try to get that fixed, unfortunately, we won't be able to have any music here for the fans that are in attendance to enjoy. Big blast there, and it's down. Sydney Smith, the sophomore, cranks it home. She'll be replaced by Ludwig. Ludwig in, same set of starters as Ludwig comes in for the sophomore. Beautiful dig. And home court advantage doesn't fare well as the ball ricochets off the basketball goal. It's a live ball, and Willis can't recover to pick it up. So we're knotted at 2 early on. Thanks for joining us here. It is great to be back, having some volleyball. Little strong on Jackson's spike as the rust is evident early on with Union. Nice block there. Recovered beautifully by the Bruins. They'll set it back up. Just try to tip it over, and they'll fool them. Number 13, Maya Otten. Boy, Otten had some ups there, and she just gingerly put it over, and Union's down by 2. Norwood will set it up. Big blast by Jackson. And Jackson's beginning to find her groove. We'll see if Coach McKee depends on her as much as he has in the past. As checking in is Maddie LaPointe checks in. LaPointe checks in. Allie Blackwell back for the serve. And that'll be out of bounds. Point awarded as Blackwell quickly pulled her hand away. And the point is awarded to Union. Blackwell back to serve, and we're knotted at 4. Bruins will set it up. They go to the Maya Otten, and she's got a cannon. Boy, there's not a lot of jump that young lady has to have, as she's all legs, and she just put it right over. And she'll step back to serve. Willis can't handle it. Wasn't a big blast, but I think it kind of fooled Willis as it came over the net. And Otten will serve again. Otten to serve. Played beautifully there by Willis. Up over. Ludwig with the big bomb, but the Bruins control. They'll quickly get it back over. Norwood. Back up Blackwell. Taps it long. Backcourt plays it. Beautiful save there. Oh, spoiled. Jackson with the nice dive. Willis couldn't get back. The hustle seems to be there for Coach McKee's kids, so that's good to see. As Otten will serve it again. She'll serve it a little short. Yeah, she'll serve it short. And the Bruins are up by 4. Good eye there by Willis. Ball out of play. And Jackson will step back to serve. Jackson to serve. The junior, Tierney Jackson, back. McKee depends on her, Ludwig, and Blackwell quite a bit. And that's why when Jackson can get that serve down, when she can get her spike down, I don't know anybody in this part of the state that's really going to get to it, because she's got a howitzer, as I mentioned before. Lets it go. It's okay. Walker checks in for Bartlesville. It's Claire Walker checks back in for the Bruins. Little miscommunication there, but it gets over. Bartlesville just lobs it over, and Blackwell kind of LaPointe out of disgust, hits it out of bounds. And the Bruins are up by 2. But we did get that point. My apologies. Yeah, she's down there. 9-7. According to my scoreboard here and their miscommunication. And that's too many hits. As Union fights their way back to be down by 1. Ludwig back for the serve. Nice serve, beautiful. Those Bruins can't handle it. And Ludwig's got them back to even at 9. Some real good fight in these young girls from Union. As I had mentioned before, not a lot of work for these ladies recently. And Ludwig's found a little bit of a magic touch there. Big shout out to Greg and Diane. I know they're watching down in Palm Coast, Florida. Proud grandparents of Emily. We're going to have a little stoppage in play here as Megan Brands is going to give a warning for wearing jewelry. Wearing jewelry, which is, I guess, illegal. Good to know. You know, reference to jewelry, match penalties in hockey can be given to any players that are wearing rings in the event that they're fought. So here we go. Union up 10-9. And Ludwig with the bomb, but it'll go out. A little bit of a stoppage there probably hurt Emily Ludwig as she was really kind of in a groove, but an issue with some earrings, and Bartlesville serves it. Norwood with the nice dig there. Miscommunication. Jackson and Norwood not communicating well. And the aforementioned rust rears its ugly head. 11-10 now, Bartlesville up by 1. We're just early in this first set. Big dig there by Willis. They got to communicate better. Jackson gets it back over. And that'll be out of bounds. Too much from Sage Ellison. Walker checks back in. Finelli checks back in for Union. Walker checks back in for the Bruins. Finelli to serve. Finelli to serve. Knotted at 11 here. Big block there. Tried to stay out of the net was Norwood, but she couldn't. She got herself bound up in the net. Point awarded to the Bruins. Is that right? Wow. Norwood got a little underneath that, and she sent that thing into the brick masonry behind the Bruins. Great effort there as the Bruins go up by 2. Willis will set it up. Smith, another drive, but that's out of play as well. And Union will take a timeout, and so will we. We're back in 30 seconds. You're watching Union Volleyball on Union UView. At Union Public Schools, this is the TTCU for supporting Union schools and Union athletics. That's TTCU. Union straight.
Red card means a point.
Got it. Thank you. We're back live here in the Union Gymnasium as Bartlesville is up by 3. And they'll serve. So for those of you that are new to the sport like myself, the yellow card was just a warning to number 18, Claire Walker, for having her earrings in, as no jewelry is allowed to be worn by these ladies while they're playing the sport. Smith set it up. Back. Nicely played there by the Bruins. Miscommunication, and the point awarded to Union. And they're down by 3. Nice job there by Blackwell. Get that spike down and get it in there. Norwood will be back to serve. We'll see what Coach McKee drew up. Well, I know he didn't draw that up, unfortunately. Norwood hit that fat. Ward checks back in. Willis will get it going. Back to Jackson. Jackson just lays it over, but the Bruins play it well. Boy, howdy. And I tell you what, that Maya Otten's got the touch tonight. She knows she doesn't have to just unleash it. Those kids go up for the block, and she just taps it over. And the Bruins see their lead to 5. Willis will set it up again. Back, Blackwell, nice. Blackwell set it back up. Big howitzer there by Jackson, and that's in. Ludwood will check back in. Willis will serve. Willis to serve. See if they can mount some sort of comeback here. Otten, big blast, nicely played there, and we get it back over. Stays alive. Great job there by Raquel Finelli. She's laughing at it because that darn near took her head off. Nicely done.
18-1.
Finelli kept that play alive. And Union's down by 3. Well played by Norwood. Norwood's not going to get fooled by Otten anymore. And that's in. It was a tip ball. That's it. Tipped and it's in. You may have heard the great producer, director, and jack of all trades, Andy Irwin, telling me a tip. Helping me out still. Appreciate his help. And another one. And Ludwig gets that blast through, and Union's climb back to within 1. Over, tip, down, and we're tied. Sometimes you just got to set it up. Sometimes all you got to do is tap it over. And we're knotted at 17 as Willis with the serve. Rotation, yep. Bartlesville's out of rotation. Point awarded. We'll go up by 1. And at this point, and in what's happened with these girls here recently, I know Coach McKee will take any points he can get. Willis to serve. Bartlesville will do good just to get it back over. Set it up over to Jackson. Jackson blast. Nice block there by Bartlesville. The Bruins will just get it back over. Willis saves it. Over to Jackson. Jackson, nicely done. Back over. And another point awarded. Great serve and volley back and forth. Bartlesville will take a timeout, and we'll take a timeout. We're back in 50 seconds. You're watching Union Volleyball on UMView.
Hey, Union Athletics Department would like to thank the Baylor Orthopedics of Oklahoma, our sports medicine provider for all district sports. And hey, thank you for helping us protect the health and safety of our student athletes and guests by wearing face coverings and maintaining your social distance. Face coverings are required in all Union Public School facilities. So on behalf of Union Athletics and the Union Public Schools, we'd like to thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back into the Union Gymnasium on the campus of Union High School. We're in the first set here between the Bruins and the ladies volleyball team of Union. And Union has gone on a 6-0 run as they were down by 4 early on. And we almost get hit by the ball over here on the table. That was exciting. Mr. Irwin with the quick hands. Jackson with the big blast, and Union goes up by 2. Joining us after this first match, got a special guest coming in to hang out with me here for a little while. We'll introduce her coming in, so there's a little bit of a hint who I'll be talking to. So we'll get to visit with Union's athletic director during the second match of this game setup. Blackwell with a nice play just to get it back over and kind of fool him. And the big block there. 22-18. As Blackwell back to serve. Wow, and a big block there. Oh my gosh, the combination of Ludwig and Jackson on the block. Blackwell to serve. Bartlesville sets it up. They'll try to tap it over. Not fooled this time. Ludwig does a good job just to get it back over and keep them alive. And there's the move that Otten has done about 4 or 5 different times during this first set. Instead of just unleashing the cannon, she just lightly sets it over. But Union still up by 4. 23-19 with Otten to serve. Jackson. Back to Jackson. Can't get it over. I think the setback from Ludwig, I believe, or it was LaPointe kind of fooled him. Otten will serve. Union still up by 3. Jackson with the blast. Big block there by the Bruins. Willis. Over to Blackwell. Boy, she cannot find that there. Set seemed to be far back. And the lead is 1. Coach McKee calls the timeout here as it's 23-22 and we're back in 45 seconds. You're watching Union Volleyball on UView. Back live as we come out of a timeout. On the court for McKee are Jackson, Ludwig, and LaPointe, Willis, Norwood, and Blackwell. And they'll go to work. Knotted now as that ball's out of play, and we're knotted at 23. Otten has seemed to found her groove to get her Bruins team that was down by 5 back to a tie. And they go up by 1 as Willis can't handle that. Set point. And Otten will serve for set point. To Willis. Willis handles it well. Big blast comes to my way. And we get up close and personal with Allie Wood. Great hustle by the youngster from Bartlesville, and we're knotted at 24. Great hustle there by that young lady. She ran out of room. And the Bruins take another timeout, and we'll take a timeout. We're back in 45 seconds. This is Union Volleyball on UView. As we're back live, Union up by 1. And set point again as Jackson's back to serve. We'll see what kind of magic Tierney could pull out. Bartlesville will set it up. Big blast by Otten. Nicely defended by Ludwig. They'll set it up again. And Union keeps it alive. And that's in. That's okay. We're knotted at 25. And that was a long spike there. Ended up going past the back row, but staying in bounds. We're tied back up. Point awarded to Bartlesville. Yeah. Point awarded for a net touch. Ludwig back to serve. Set point again. Tip there, nicely controlled by Jackson. Back to her. She's going to try to finish it out, but nope, just a bit outside. And we're knotted at 26. Back and forth. What you cannot discount is the fact that the girls from Union are playing tough after what was a long break and only 2 practices. You got to hand it to these girls for staying in this fight. Smith with the blast, partially blocked. The Bruins will set it up. Otten with a huge blast, another one in the back row. It'll be set point for Bartlesville. Set point, Bartlesville. As Allie Woods back to serve for the Bruins. Controlled by Jackson. They'll set it up. Miscommunication. And the Bruins take the first match. 28-26 as they win by 2. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have our special guest from Union's athletic department. We'll see you in about a minute and a half. You're watching Union Volleyball on UView. Well, we welcome in, and I had to write it down, the Oklahoma Interscholastic Athletic Administration Association recipient of the National Federation Citation Award winner for Oklahoma, mom to Sutton, wife to Justin, and a Tar Heel fan to boot, Union's athletic director, the one, the only, Emily Barkley. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me tonight.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I think we got you turned up now. There we go. Yeah, So first, how are you and the family? Obviously, the hubby in this business, that kind of thing, this is a different world, and we don't even have to pretend that it is. How is your family managing this time, knowing that your world revolves around sports?
Well, I'll tell you, the first part of March and April, it was good. It was a lot of family time, a lot of togetherness, and then once we hit back towards May and realized sports were getting ready to start back up with summer activities, it's quickly turned to stress at our household just because you're right. I mean, we revolve around it, but we also revolved around the unknown for so long of what we'd be doing, what he would be doing from the collegiate side of it. So Day to day, like I would think everybody else is at this point,
Sure.
trying to manage
Sure.
COVID-related items.
Sure. So I got to ask you what you think about the girls and their spirit stepping in. I talked on the broadcast a little bit about the fact that they haven't had but 2 practices. I think one of them wasn't even mandatory, according to Coach McKee. They haven't been around each other for, 2 weeks or more. And here we are playing a pretty spirited Bartlesville team, and they lose by 2. There's a lot to be said for the spirit of Union's girls.
There is, and volleyball, like every sport, is such a team activity, but you can tell they feed off of each other, and you can tell they also haven't been feeding off of each other for the last 14 days. So I think the fewer, as we go through the matches, you'll see a little bit more, less running into each other, more knowing where everybody is. But that's just a rhythm thing that they'll get used to.
Right. And the spirit and the work ethic is another thing that I talked about. You can't, even though we may be talking about conditioning here shortly, for what the girls are doing as far as athletics and working hard, they've definitely done that as Willis sets up to serve with Union up by 1.
The other thing you notice is they all have a smile on their face. I think that it's really easy to take for granted being able to play every day, and I think they realize how lucky they are to be back out here. And so they look like they're having fun, and that's always nice to see.
Right on. Faust checks in for Bartlesville. As Reed Faust checks back into for Bartlesville, and she'll serve. We're knotted at 1 early on here in the second set. Joined by Union's athletic director, Emily Barkley. Great dig there by Norwood, but we can't play it. So ask you real quick, sound system, we joked about being a little screwed up. What do you think about Amaya Norwood's pipes there on the national anthem?
Man,
did you get that?
I did. She nailed it, didn't she?
That's what producer director here, Andy Irwin, and I were kind of giving each other the big thumbs up with a great blast there by Blackwell. That was beautifully done. So I hate to bring up COVID, but talked a little bit about it. How has it changed the landscape of high school sports in general, from practices to pregame, game time rituals, that kind of thing? What's it done for your coaches and really your programs that you're over that you try to manage?
Well, you just have to be so careful on, what's deemed close contact. This is what I try to tell our coaches. When you're asked, you need to be able to say without a doubt that your student athletes and you weren't in close contact. And when you're playing sports that are constantly in close contact, such as volleyball,
yep.
And some of those other ones, that's a hard thing to say. Unfortunately, it's not just the positive cases you're worried about, it's who they've been around throughout the school day. And I mean, as an athletic director, we spend half of our day contract tracing and half of our day, doing the things that we were hired to do. So
right.
I know that there's just that added pressure for those students who, obviously felt that as well, and all the teachers and staff that have to deal with it.
Yeah, I know that when we get those emails from our administrators, being a teacher here at Union, it's really beautiful blast there by Jackson. It's tough because when you're getting a particular email, in the subject line what it's about, and you just kind of hold your breath because there's that unknown even for us as teachers. How long have we had this student? How long have we been in close contact? And it's got to be the same for you and your coaching staff. So, yeah, I completely understand. So 6-2 Union is playing really, really, really well. Ludwig gets up for the block, but she can't get it to go back over the net. And Bartlesville is down by 3, and they'll go back to serve. Hannah Lindsley, one of the coach's daughters, back to serve, and she'll set it up. Up over, nicely set up there by Jackson. Back to Jackson, and another blast. Talk about as a former athlete, not that you're not an athlete anymore, but former athlete, and knowing you never went through anything like this, what would you say, and what is your message as a beautiful block there? Oh, she said she was in the net, apparently. Point awarded back to the Bruins. She hit the post. Very good. Very good. 8-3. So what would you tell your athletes, or how would you, I guess, suggest that high school athletes help alleviate the stress that comes with the challenges of COVID? And they have to worry about schoolwork. They have to worry about performing. And now we say, hey, oh, yeah, by the way, got to wear a mask. You got to all these things that we have to go through. How would you tell them to kind of handle the stress of that?
Well, you know, what I think's different, obviously, from never having gone through it as an athlete to now trying to tell teenagers, you know, they want some normalcy in their lives. But the biggest thing we can say right now is don't spend the night with people. Don't hang out with them on the weekend. And, I mean, the best way to build a team and a camaraderie, those were the best times of my high school career, or with my teammates outside of, you know, because that's what built the relationship on the court. And so I think that's what's hardest for me with those
Stanley
students,
checks back in.
is, you know, you want to try to tell them to control what you're doing outside of your sport, especially during your season, because those are the times where that close contact that we talked about is catching up with people and, you know, causing some spread. And so that's hard to do because I was there, and I wouldn't probably have wanted to hear that or wanted to have to do that as a student athlete. And so just trying to keep them on track during their season and keep them all as safe as possible. But if they are going to be together, wear a mask.
There
and
you
if
go.
you're going to, you know, don't ride in cars together,
Right.
show up at places.
So what we're asking our kids to do is not to do any of the things that they're used to doing
Absolutely.
their entire high school career. Nice dig there. Almost a collision, but I tell you what, well played there, and a nice dig by Blackwell to try to keep it alive as Willis comes back in. Union's up 11-5, and we're joined by Union's athletic director, the one, the only Emily Barkley. And obviously we're not going to talk about names. We never do that. But talk about protocols. Are they that different between sports? And I know there's a huge difference between trying to keep a football team organized and trying to keep a girls' volleyball team organized. But are they really fundamentally the same between each sport when it comes to what you have to do COVID-wise?
No, I mean, we actually have to look at every situation individually. Our goal, and athletic trainer Dan Newman and myself talk frequently on weekends, you know, early, late night, about these situations, because the last thing we want to do is withhold student athletes from, you know, competition or even being in school from the school side of it. And so we operate in the, do we really need to? Were they really in close contact? Now, we want to keep them safe, but we also want to be realistic in the situation. So, you know, in an example like volleyball, when they're on the court in close proximity versus a cross-country team who's outdoors running in the open air that may or may not be running at the same speed. So there may be
big blast. Yeah.
There may be 6 feet in between them anyways.
Right.
So those are handled differently. You know, you're probably not going to see a softball team shut down as quickly as a volleyball team.
Sure.
The nature of indoor versus outdoor, the way they're spread out. So I think that is the difference in a lot of it, and you have to look at each situation individually.
Got it. So on the subject of softball, you brought it up, talking about, we'll segue to all the projects that you have going on in the district right now. For those of you that don't know, Union's the Tuttle Stadium's undergoing a $40 million renovation. Baseball and softball fields are going under the same type of renovation, obviously not to that dollar amount. How is Tuttle coming? Are you guys happy with the progress? And what do you got to say about it?
Yeah, it looks like, what I'm being told is everything's right on schedule. It's a really cool project to watch outside my window.
Right.
Baseball, softball, same thing. We're putting turf in, new dugouts, lowered dugouts, new fencing. So they're really excited. But as if COVID wasn't enough, now we've got construction going on at all of our sites. And so this year is just one of those, you go with the flow on everything that's happening.
Right. So big game this weekend, Friday night, Union Owasso. And with a big game like that, how is it different with a coaching staff that's on the other side of the sidelines that you're familiar with, Coach Fred's familiar with? Is it that different than playing against a coaching staff that you guys aren't close to? Is it more intense? What's that like for you guys?
It definitely is. Coach Blankenship is the person who hired me here at Union and gave me my start as an athletic director. And so he's obviously a mentor, a very, very good friend. Grew up family friends, you know, with them. But I told him when he got hired over there and we went to play that first game years ago that I almost wanted to beat them more because of that friendship. And he said, you're exactly right. I mean, I think there's that added pressure because everybody does know each other, and there's a little bit added competition to it of, hey, I want to beat you. Yeah, we're still friends, but I definitely want to beat you.
So is there a surprise at what he's done over there at Owasso?
Anybody who knows him knows that there's no surprise to that. I think what's hard is looking across the sideline and seeing so many Union people over there because we make it a family when we're here, and then when you look across and you feel like members of your family are on the wrong side of the field. I mean, that's hard as an athletic director. Right. That's hard as somebody who knows all those people. But they, Coach Blankenship helped build something over there, and he's helped building something over there. Right. So, you just you hope they don't catch too much momentum. Right. With all their sports and all the people that are going. That are over there, and I think we still got something very special here.
Yeah, I guarantee there's something special here. And the one thing, and you know this better than I do, as the ball's out of play and Union's up by 7. We thank Emily Barkley for joining us here. A couple more things real quick. The great thing about high school sports in general, even at this level, 6A level, you never know what's going to happen from night to night.
You really don't.
It's like a little league game. Oh, we're up by 12 with an inning to play, and it doesn't make any sense. You could see teams come back and make big runs, one big play here and there. And those momentum shifts seem to be bigger at the younger level than it is college, and definitely in the pro level when you see those big momentum shifts. So.
Absolutely. I think, even this year, our football team, we're probably the best 0-3 football team around. Our volleyball team has played some of the toughest competition. I guarantee whatever regional our volleyball team gets sent to, they don't want to see us there because our ceiling is so high for those right now. And so I think you're right. It may not be showing up in wins and losses, but it's going to be a process. And hopefully, we hire these coaches to get those teams to perform at their highest level at the right time. And so hopefully that happens with all of them, and they're peaking by the end of the season. Right.
I still think this brand is one of those brands that when people they circle it. They circle it on their calendar, and they're like, you know what? They're going to come to play, and they know no matter what our wins and losses look like, our coaches, the people that you have in place specifically, they're going to have these kids ready to play night in, night out, and it's a testament to what you – Steve, everybody else does over there at the athletic department. You should be proud of what you have here because it's something special.
I appreciate it.
You bet, you bet. The great Emily Barkley, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us so much. Hang out all you want because we've got a phenomenal – we can wave at the camera. There she is. We have a phenomenal second set going on here with Union up by 9. And just as I say that, Bartlesville gets the point out of the deal. Hannah Lindsay will be back to serve. Nicely done there. Allie Blackwell, the senior, using that knowledge and her court awareness just to pop that over, not set anything up and get the point. Union's up by 9. Jackson back to serve. Ball's out of play. Thought it was touched, but apparently not. And Otten, the Bruins howitzer, will be back to serve. Otten's one of those individuals that gets the majority of their points for them. She's definitely got something on that serve. (2014). Union still up by 6. But Otten's the one that got the Bruins on the run last time and were able to pull them back even and eventually win it by 2 with a few extra points. Nicely done there by Ludwig, but the Bruins will set up and they'll get it back over. Ludwig sets back to her. Blackwell the blast. Beautifully done there, excuse me, by Maddie LaPointe. My bad. LaPointe with the huge cannon. And Ludwig will serve. 21-14 now. In. Nicely placed ball there by Kelsey Ward. She'll check out. Katie Loretson will check back in and she'll serve. Coach McKee barking some orders to his back line at Norwood, Jackson, and Willis. Willis will handle it. They'll set it up. Norwood with the great pipes gets it over. That's a lie. That was Sydney Smith.
I didn't see the other sub. It was 1 for 33.
Finelli checks back in. Finelli checks in. And Finelli will serve. As the great athletic director and Emily Barkley parts ways with us, want to thank her for showing up. As a collision right here in front of the scores table by the Bruins, they get discombobulated, can't get back. And Union's up 24-15. Set point. Finelli back to serve. And there it is, out of bounds. Great block, but we can't keep it in bounds. Point awarded to Bartlesville, but Union's still up by 8. Set point number 2. Great dig there, gets the ball over. She slid up underneath. Great hustle there by Finelli. Can't falter for that, as Allie Wood will serve again for the Bruins. Another big block there. Set point number 3. They've got to keep it together. They got to know all they need is a point and not let this get to them. As Wood again back to serve. Finelli to Jackson. Jackson will just get it over. Nicely done. Great dig there by the Bruins. They set it up. A nice block, and that's in, and that's down. Oh, baby. And Union wins set number 2 in spirited fashion. Beautifully done there, as Union was really in control of that set the entire time, as we were joined by Emily Barkley, Union's athletic director. So I tell you what, let's take a timeout. Everybody catch a breath. You're watching Union Volleyball on UView. So we're back live here as we get ready to start set number 3. As Union was dominant in set number 2, set it all up and got it going. And we'll start set number 3. On the court for Coach McKee, senior number 7, Kaylin Stalkup. Number 20, junior Raquel Finelli. Sydney Smith, of course. Allie Blackwell, Tierney Jackson. And number 11, oh, I already said Sydney, sorry. And number 23, the one, the only, Kaylee Willis. Stalkup getting some of the first action we've seen at home. And we'll see what the senior can serve up here. We're knotted at 1 set apiece. Beautiful serve there. Digging. Willis with a nice save. Finelli will just get it over, and Union lives to see another day. Big, nice save there by Stalkup, and she's in the game. Showing her senior prowess already. Again, another save. In the net, unfortunate. As Stalkup checks out. Amaya Norwood checks back in. Katie Lauretzen, checks in, and she'll serve for Bartlesville. Lauretzen to serve. Willis can't handle it. Can't handle the serve. Blackwell tumbles in to the coaching staff, and everybody gets a good chuckle. Norwood with the nice recovery there on a great blast. Jackson back over. The Bruins will set it up. Quick over. Willis sets it up. Jackson with a howitzer. Well played. Norwood back over. Smith back over. Smith. Jackson. Smith again. Smith taking over at the net. Oh, and that's still. That was a great volley by both teams, and Smith just decided to take over at the net for a couple of points and kept Union in this one. Big block there out of bounds, and Union gets on the board. Willis will serve. Ludwig will come back in. Smith gets a nice ovation from her girls on the sidelines as she took over at the net early on. Willis serves. Big blast, tipped it in. Blackwell with the cannon. And Willis will serve it up again. Jackson, Blackwell, and Ludwig up front on the net. Too many hits. We're knotted at 3. As Union using their size to their advantage right now. Finelli with a nice try there. She can't come up with it. And Bartlesville goes up by 1 as Allie Wood checks back in. Wood checks back in for the Bruins. Hannah Lindsay back to serve. Nicely placed serve, barely over the net. And a nice little tip. Well played there by the Bruins. Nice dig there by Finelli. Back over by Union, and Bruins will set it up. That ball was in, praying for it to go out. And it was out. Luckily for us, knotted at 4. Blackwell back to serve. Big blast there. That ball was in. Point was going to be awarded to the Bruins anyway on that one. We're in the net. Otten back to serve. This is where we got to get this game under control. We cannot let, and we do it again. Whatever Otten's doing to the ball, I'm telling you what, she's really fooling the girls from Union when she serves that ball. Mentally, she is in Union's head right now as the Bruins are up by 2. She lets it go, and it's in. Jackson with a nice eye, and that ball's out of bounds. Point awarded to Union. Jackson will set back to take the serve. Jackson to serve. Great cannon. And again, if she can keep that thing down, that'll fool everybody. The great player for the Bruins and Maya Otten can't handle that one, and Jackson will go back to serve again. Consistently inconsistent sometimes is Union, and it eats them up as a little momentum is squandered on a bad serve by Jackson. She's got to recoup and get it back as they're still in this, only down by 2. Ludwig with the bomb. Nicely paid there by the Bruins. They'll set it up, and just a tip. Still in play. Over. Saved by the Bruins, and they'll set it up. Otten, big blast. Point awarded.
10:33.
To Union. Faust checks back in. Sydney Smith checks back in as well for Union. Ludwig back to serve. Union down by a point. Nice serve there. They'll come way over. Big blast. Partially tipped and down. Flores checks back in for Bartlesville. Allie Wood back to serve. Nicely saved there by Norwood. Smith will just get it back over. Almost fools Bartlesville, but they recoup and they get it back over the net, and we'll play some more. Norwood unleashes the cannon. Nicely played. And Otten with the cannon herself. That Union can't control. And Bartlesville goes back up by 3. With Wood to serve. Norwood sets it up. Jackson just does her best to get it back over. Nicely played. Claire Walker with a nice slam home. And the Bruins are up by 4. Wood still serving for Bartlesville. Little jump serve there. Maddie LaPointe discombobulated there as the ball was out of bounds. Kind of frustrated with herself. We could see it in her face. They've got to recoup, keep smiles on their face, get right back into it. Jackson. Over here, big blast there. Out of bounds, nicely done there by the junior in LaPointe. She'll step aside. Finelli checks in. Finelli checks back in and she'll serve. She'll serve for Union. A nice little touch there by Flores. Tatiana using some of Otten's little magic. not thinking about slamming it, just tipping it over the net. Big blast. Well controlled there by the Bruins. Otten gets it back over. Finelli sets it up. Willis to Norwood. And she can't get it over the net. A little misplay there. Collins back again to serve. The Bruins up by 6 here. Set number 3. Block there on the spike by Blackwell. And Union's going to take a timeout. And so will we. We'll step aside. We'll see you in 45 seconds. You're watching Union U-View on YouTube.
Don't forget, Union's athletic department would like to thank Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma, our sports medicine provider for all district stores. That's Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma.
Before we get carried away, don't forget our next home game broadcast comes to you next Tuesday, September 29th. It's senior night. Don't forget our next home game broadcast comes to you next Tuesday night, September 29th. It's senior night when Union hosts Muskogee. Festivities are starting around 6:30, depending upon how long the JV game runs. That's next Tuesday, the 29th. Senior night here at Union. A little maintenance on the floor, as we seem to have a little condensation issue that was happening quite a bit here the last home game back in August. But a cool, wet day here in northeastern Oklahoma. High temperature was around 68. It was beautiful, got a lot of much-needed rain. And a big block there by a young lady who I've mentioned a lot for the Bruins lately, in number 13, Maya Otten. She's been a one-lady wrecking crew here as Jackson sets it up. Finelli, nicely done. Fooling him, not setting anything up. Her court awareness is great. Stallcup checks back in. It's Kaylin Stallcup checks back in, and she'll serve for Union. The senior getting a little love from Coach McKee. Nicely placed serve by her. Great dig. Jackson keeps it alive, barely over the net, and a nice roll. And a point's a point. As Kaylin's got a big smile on her face, as everybody will take a point like that any day of the week. Fancy roll. Willis with a nice protection, and well done by Jackson. As number 10, Reed Faust, can't handle the blast by Jackson, and Stallcup will serve again. As water and condensation seem to be a little bit of an issue again here on the court. As Tierney Jackson does a little maintenance. Stallcup back to serve. 16-11, Bartlesville up by 5. Ottman, big blast, but into the net. And Stallcup's on a roll. Ward checks back in. Kelsey Ward checks back in for Bartlesville. And I tell you what, Stallcup's found a little magic in that little serve she's got. It barely clears the net, and it kind of knuckleballs on him as it clears the net. And Union's got a little rally going here. Bartlesville will be good just to get it over. Stallcup a little long, but I'll tell you what, she'll take it again. as Union starts a little run. Tip, nice dig there by Willis. Finelli sets it up. Big blast there. Point awarded to Bartlesville, but a great run there by Stalcup.
Norwood checks back in for Stalcup.
Loretzen to serve. Katie Loretzen to serve. Willis controls. Miscommunication, but it works out well for Union. As a little miscommunication works out well, and Ludwig checks back in. Sydney Smith has a seat. Willis will serve it. And Union's found themselves to within 2 in set number 3. Willis with a nice serve. Bartlesville keeps it over. Willis will set it up. Big blast, that ball will be out of play.
Walker checks back in.
Willis back to serve. Walker checks back in for the Bruins. Big blast. Ball's out of play, and we're knotted at 17. The big blast by Maya Otten's out of play. And Willis and Stalcup have found a little magic to keep Union back in it. Nice block there. Played, volley, oh! And spoiled there as Union can't recover. Bartlesville will serve. Hannah Lindsley back to serve it again. As the little movement there gives the point awarded to Union, and we're knotted at 18, and we're going to take a 45-second timeout. You're watching Union Volleyball on UView.
That was first.
Hey fans, don't forget our next home game is next Tuesday, September 29th. It's going to be senior night. Union welcomes in the Muskogee Rebels. Match starts around 6:30, immediately following the JV game. And don't forget, if you can't join us live here in the gym, and you want to catch these ladies in action, your choice is Union channel on YouTube. That's Union, the letter U, view on the YouTube.
We're back live, knotted at 18 in set number 4.
Buzz the horn.
Bethany Johnson checks in for Bartlesville. Johnson checks in for Bartlesville.
12. This is 103.
Coach McKee
You guys good?
is going with Blackwell, Norwood, Willis, Jackson, Ludwig, and LaPointe up front. Knotted at 18. Willis with a big dig, but she can't control it. And what can we say about these ladies of Union? The time off that they've had, and they're hanging tough with the great Bartlesville squad. Norwood sets it up. Willis over. Bartlesville sets it up. All they could do to get it over, as some miscommunication on Bartlesville cost them the point. Stanley checks in for Union. Junior Aubrey Stanley checks in as some of her first action this evening as Jackson's back to serve. Great serve, no communication. And Union goes up by 1. Jackson again to serve. Bartlesville sets it up. Big cannon there, and we're knotted at 20. No quit in either squad right now. As set number 3 sure looks a whole lot like set number 1, as neither team can find dominance here on the campus of Union High School. Ottman with a long backcourt volley. Sets up. Stanley with a nice blast. And the junior and Aubrey Stanley. Aubrey Stanley sees her first point. Sydney Smith comes in for Willis. Ludwig back to serve. Union up by 1. Nicely done again there by Smith, as miscommunication cost Bartlesville a point. And the coach, Ward, will take a timeout, and so will we. We'll see you in 45 seconds. You're watching Union Volleyball on UView.
Hey, folks, thank you for helping us protect the health and safety of our student athletes. Yes, by wearing face coverings and maintaining social distance. Face coverings are required in all Union Public School facilities. So on behalf of Union Athletics and the Union Public Schools, we will thank you for your cooperation.
Back live here on the campus of Union High School. Union's up by 2 in set number 3. May have said set number 4 earlier, I apologize. Set number 3. Union up by 2. Ludwig to serve. Nicely done, controlled there. Nice save by Bartlesville, but it'll go out of bounds. And Ludwig has found a little magic in the serve. 23-20. Coach McKee barking out some orders. Jackson calls it. Man. Boy, and that Myatt is something special for Bartlesville. Flores checks back in. Wood to serve. Timeout. Coach McKee. Timeout Union. And we'll take another quick timeout. We'll see you in 30 seconds this time. You're watching Union Volleyball on UView. Back live here with Union up by 2. Serve awarded to Bartlesville as Allie Wood will serve it for the Bruins. Willis digs in. Jackson and Stanley on the backside of this. Set up, big blast, nicely done. The Bruins are in the net, and we got set point. Set point. Set point for Union. As Finelli back to serve. McKee barking some orders. And here we are. Oh my. Coach McKee and his young ladies have taken 2 in a row. And they go up 2 sets to 1. We'll take a timeout for about 2 minutes. Go get your drink. Set number 4 coming up. On the other side of this break, you're watching Union Volleyball on Union UView.
You were on that. You were on that today? Yeah.
Who's? You want this one?
Oh, got it. I had her down as a junior. You're right. Hey, tell them hi. Actually, I just will. We can hear them. Yeah, that's you. Yeah. That's okay. No, that's good. Aubrey Stanley family. Oh, Colorado. Did a big joke out of it.
As I welcome you back in here to the Union Gymnasium on the campus of Union High School. You may have heard earlier I had a mom come to me, let me know that Aubrey Stanley is a senior, so I stand corrected. That's what happens, folks, when you allow underclassmen to put your stat sheets and things together. So to the Stanley family listening in Colorado, how are you? Thanks for watching. Proud of that young lady and the work that she's doing with her teammates. So we're Union's up 2-1 as we start set number 4. On the court for Coach McKee's group will be Norwood, Jackson, Smith, Blackwell, and Willis. And we're ready to get underway. So again, the shout out to the Stanley family. Watch it up at Colorado. As Willis and Finelli have to do a little maintenance on the court. Seem to have a little condensation issue. Back to serve Sydney Collins to start us off at set number 4. And we're underway. Dig there by Jackson and back to Jackson with a big blast. And I talked at the top of the broadcast, we were concerned about fatigue, if we were concerned about these girls not being ready to play. And I tell you what, Union has come out and surprised a lot of people. As they are up 2-1 and they have not lost any kind of fight at all as Jackson fights to get it back over. Bruins will set it up, and that'll be long. And quickly, Willis has her squad up. 2-love here in set number 4. Finelli again with the prowess just to get it over. Don't set anything up. Court awareness is everything. And Finelli with the big smile on her face as a job well done and a point well earned. Willis in position, nice save. Back over. Bruins set it up. Willis again with a nice dig. Barely over. Willis again with another set. Jackson with a big drive. And that's all because of Willis keeping her team alive. Nicely done. And that's long. Tipped, point awarded to Bartlesville. That's what I thought the officials were talking about. It was tipped. And we have a little condensation issue again on the court. There you go. So you may hear Coach McKee coming over to tell us, because sportsmanship is everything. We called touch on ourselves, gave the Bruins the point, because that's the kind of sportsmanship Union Volleyball teaches. Coach McKee wanted me to make sure that we pointed that out. And I'll say that was a nice touch by Jackson. That might have put a dent in this old floor. Maddie Lapointe checks back in. Finelli gets a nice seat. Blackwell back to serve. Great job by Norwood. Union sets it up. Jackson with a nice little soft touch, but controlled there by Bartlesville. Nice block by Ludwig, but she can't control it. And it's 5-2 Union. Hannah Lindsley back to serve for the Bruins. Jackson sets it up. And a great blast there by none other than Maddie Lapointe. And Union goes up by 4. Jackson back to serve. Jackson to serve. Touch, nicely done by Ludwig. Great court awareness there. Norwood tries to get it over, but she can't. But Ludwig with some good court awareness. Once you block it, you could play it again. She knew she didn't have any support. She tried to keep it alive. Now let's see if Union can figure out Otten's serve. She has been a one-person wrecking crew for Bartlesville. Controlled nicely there. Bartlesville set it back up. Blocked out of bounds. And Bartlesville will be awarded the point. 6-4 now. Union up, still up by 2. Keep their composure here. And not let Otten get to him. Controlled there by Jackson. Set up. Big blast there, nicely done. The junior Maddie Lapointe. And Ludwig will get the serve back as Smith checks back in. 7-4 Union, set number 4. Ludwig with the nice serve. Point awarded to the Bruins, though, as Willis steps back on the court. And Kelsey Ward,
Go ahead, ladies.
I lied. Katie Loretzen will check back in and serve for Bartlesville. Down by 2 are the Bruins. Nice serve. Jackson can't handle it. She's mad at herself because she knew better than to handle that just the way she did. Smiles all around as they try to keep themselves in it. Jackson. Back over LaPointe. Blocked there, but out of bounds. LaPointe with the blast and out of bounds there. Nicely done. Finelli checks back in. Raquel Finelli checks back in. Can't handle it. Ball out of play. Point awarded to Union. Nice little serve there. Not too sure that the Bruins were paying attention because it didn't look like anything fancy on that serve by Finelli. But we'll take the point. See if she can do it again. Tip there, stay alive. Back over. Big blast out of bounds though. Blackwell had a great look. Couldn't keep it in though. Flores checks back in. Allie Wood to serve for the Bruins. Out of bounds, too much on that one. And Union will go up by 3, 10-7 early on as Stallcup checks back in. Stallcup checks back in. And she'll serve. See if we can see that magical serve by Stallcup. The ball was in. Point awarded to the Bruins. Oh, we were in the net. Got it. My bad, we were in the net. Norwood checks back in. Jackson back over to her. Big blast. Tipped, point awarded. And Union goes back up by 3. Ludwig checks in. Smith has a seat. Willis to serve. So up front are up front are Blackwell, Ludwig, and Jackson. Willis to serve. And that's an ace. Ace by Willis. An ace there by Willis. Ward checks back in. Kelsey Ward checks back in for Bartlesville. Willis will serve. Up by 4 are the ladies from Union. Nicely blocked there. See what they can serve up. Another block. They're going to try the other side of the net. The Bruins do good, just good to get it over. Out of bounds. No tip. Out of bounds. Point awarded to Union and no tip. Little discussion here between Megan Brands, the official, and Coach Ward. Point awarded to Union. That was the original call by Jill Cooper up in the chair, and we'll play on. Blocked by Ludwig and Jackson. Falls on our side of the net, and it's 13-9 now. Reed Faust will serve for the Bruins. Jackson, Finelli, back to Jackson. Big blast, but it's long. And Claire Walker will serve now for the Bruins. Up by 3 is Union. Norwood to Finelli. Back to Blackwell, and that's out of bounds as well. And the Bruins are starting to find their groove a little bit.
Tuesday, September 29th, Union hosts Muskogee for senior night. Tip off around 6:30-ish, depending upon when the JV game ends. And hey, if you got your fans out there watching us on YouTube, we have a little power issue down here. So any of the fans out there watching, you might text them and let them know we're working on fixing our feed as we speak. Take Andy over, should have it back up in a minute or two.
As we welcome you back here to the Union Gymnasium on the campus of Union High School, we apologize. As we welcome you back here into the gymnasium on Union High School. Had a little technical issue with the power, but everybody's fine. We're doing fine. And while you're away, Union is up 20-18 with Raquel Finelli back to serve. A spirited match so far, but neither one of these teams seem to want to take control of it as it's out of bounds. (21 now, 18, Finelli to serve. Coach McKee barking some orders. Bartlesville will set it up. Nice save there by Jackson. Finelli over to Stanley. Great dig there by Bartlesville. They'll keep it alive, and too many hits. And Union gets the point. Great dig there by the senior in Stanley to keep that alive. We're going to take a timeout. We're back in 45 seconds. You're watching Union Volleyball on Union UView. As we bring you back out of this timeout, we're in set number 4. Union's up 22-18. They're up 2-1 in what has got to be a great surprise for Coach McKee and his squad, playing really, really well after a long break because of the dreaded coronavirus. As Ott cranks that out of bounds, 23-18. Finelli back to serve again. Otten sets it up for Bartlesville. Big block there, still alive. Oh my, great attempt of a rally by the Bruins. And we're at match point. 24-18. Finelli to serve. Otten to set it up. Miscommunication, they get it back over. Willis, Finelli, Stanley, they keep it alive. Nobody wants it. Jackson keeps it going. Just back over. Great volley here. Into the net! And Union takes it. What a great surprise by Coach McKee and his squad as Union comes out of what was a 2-week hiatus and takes it to the Bartlesville Bruins 3-1. Hey, our next home game broadcast comes next Tuesday, September 29th, when Union hosts Muskogee. Tip-off for senior night will follow the JV game, which will be somewhere around 6:30 to 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching Union Volleyball on Union's UView channel. Good night, everybody.